Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Cosmetology School Accounting Podcast. Today, we're going to be focused on a crucial topic, optimizing cash flow management for cosmetology schools. In the next 15 minutes, we'll explore practical techniques to maintain liquidity and also support substantial growth within your institution. Whether you are an administrator, a financial manager, or a school owner, understanding how to manage cash flow effectively is essential to your institution's success. All right, so let's start by discussing what cash flow management really means. So cash flow is the movement of money in and out of your school. It's not just about the profit you make, but instead it's about ensuring at any given time you have sufficient funds to cover operational expenses such as payroll, rent, supplies, and other essential costs. For cosmetology schools, where income can be cyclical, often dependent on enrollment cycles and tuition payments, maintaining a healthy cash flow is key to ensuring the school remains operational and can invest in future growth opportunities. So let's talk about why cash flow management is so crucial for cosmetology schools. Well, unlike some businesses that may have a steady daily income, schools often receive large sums of money at specific times, typically at the beginning of a term or a semester, or in some cases, installment plans, which can fluctuate throughout the month. So after those payments have come in, there may be periods where cash flow slows down. Yet, of course, as we know, outflows such as payroll, utilities, maintenance, they all remain constant. Okay, so this mismatch of incoming revenue and outgoing expenses can lead to cash shortages if it's not managed carefully. Now, effective cash flow management ensures that you are prepared for lean periods. It allows you to cover fixed costs as well as unexpected expenses without resorting to short-term borrowing, which can be expensive and also risky. So in short, a robust cash flow strategy supports the long-term financial health and growth of your institution. I'm aware of some schools that borrow on a short-term borrowing basis, and after you calculate how much interest they paid on those short-term borrowings, it's been up to 75%. That's really high interest to pay on borrowing, whether it's short or long term. So it's very important that you try to avoid having to borrow on a short-term basis. Okay, so now let's dive into some practical techniques to optimize cash flow management for your school. So number one, you want to develop a detailed cash flow forecast. Creating a cash flow forecast is your first step in proactive financial planning. You want to start by reviewing historical data, which means you're going to look at past tuition collection patterns. You'll look at vendor payments, and then also look at other reoccurring expenses. Once you've done that, you want to then project these inflows and outflows month by month for at least 12 months. Now, this forecast is going to help you to anticipate periods where cash might be tight and allow you to plan accordingly. Regularly updating your forecast as actual numbers come in can also help the school to adjust its plans in real time. So when you start to see changes based upon your forecasted numbers and your actual numbers, you're able to go in and make tweaks to your plans based upon what's actually coming in. You also want to invest in a reliable accounting system such as QuickBooks, which is the most common. Now, this can make a significant difference. With modern software technologies nowadays, you can automate many aspects of your financial management, from invoicing to expense tracking. But I must say that you do not want to maintain invoicing in two different systems, because based on my experience, both systems never match exactly, okay? Which makes you question which system is accurate. I find it best to use an outside student tuition management platform for invoicing. And at the end of the month, you can then record the necessary balances from your outside management system into your accounting system, like QuickBooks, as a single high-level number. This is going to allow you to manage your cash flow in QuickBooks while keeping the details behind tuition amounts in a student management software system. Okay, so number 3, let's talk about streamlining tuition billing and collections. One of the biggest challenges for cosmetology schools is managing tuition payments. You want to consider establishing clear tuition policies that detail payments due dates, acceptable payment methods, and also the consequences of late payments. You want to also automate your billing process by scheduling tuition invoices at the start of each term and sending out reminders before the due date. So you want to make sure that whatever third-party billing platform that you're using for students has some sort of ability to automate the billing process and also to send out these statements prior to the billing due date. Okay, so for those who pay online, you want to integrate an online payment system that feeds directly into your accounting software. This way, you're not missing any payments in the accounting software, and you're also not missing any payments in your third-party invoicing, billing, student platform. So at the end of the month, when you're closing the books, you can tie out the payments that were received based upon the student billing system and what actually came into QuickBooks. So these steps can help ensure that tuition payments are received promptly, maintaining a steady cash flow. Number 4, you want to monitor and control expenses. So while increasing revenue is extremely important, controlling expenses is equally as critical. Regularly review your expense accounts to identify areas where costs can be reduced or even deferred. This might include negotiating better terms with your suppliers or evaluating whether certain expenses are even essential for your school's operations. So by keeping a close eye on your outflows, you're going to ensure that your available cash is used in the most efficient manner. Number 5, you want to build and maintain cash reserves. It's advisable to set aside a cash reserve to buffer against unexpected expenses or periods of low cash inflow. So you want to determine an appropriate level of your reserve. This might be a percentage of your monthly expenses or a fixed amount based upon your historical cash flow fluctuations. Now, a cash reserve provides financial security and it helps prevent disruption to your operations when unforeseen circumstances arise. Number 6, you want to accelerate accounts receivable. Okay, you can accelerate accounts receivable by encouraging early tuition payments by offering small discounts for those who pay before the due date. Additionally, you want to consider using electronic invoicing. I think we discussed this earlier, and payment platforms to reduce the time between invoicing and receiving payments. Okay, fast collections means that cash is available sooner, which can be reinvested into your school's operations. Number 7, regular financial reviews and reporting. You want to establish a routine of monthly financial reviews. So you're going to use QuickBooks or whatever chosen accounting software that you have to generate key financial statements, such as your cash flow statement, your profit and loss report, and your balance sheet. Now, these reports are going to help you to track how cash is moving in and out of your school. And it's going to allow you to make informed decisions, okay? Also, regular reviews help you detect any discrepancies or trends that may require corrective action, ensuring that your cash flow remains steady. All right, so let's look at some real life examples. Imagine a cosmetology school that receives most of its tuition in a lump sum at the beginning of the academic year. Okay, now that school is going to have fixed monthly expenses for salaries, for rent, and for supplies. Without proper planning, there might be a significant gap in available cash midway through the term. However, by forecasting cash flow, the school can identify this gap well in advance. In response, the school may decide to create a cash flow reserve during the tuition collection period, and also work with vendors to negotiate payment terms that align with their cash inflows. Additionally, implementing an automated invoicing system also ensures that any subsequent payments, perhaps for additional services or merchandise, are processed efficiently, thereby improving the overall cash flow. Another example could involve, let's say, accelerating receivables. So if the school offers a discount for early payment, it can encourage more students to pay tuition ahead of time. This not only improves cash flow, but it also reduces the administrative burden of following up on late payments. So both of these underscore the importance of proactive planning and the use of technology to manage finances effectively. These techniques can help ensure that your school remains financially stable and is able to support sustainable growth even during challenging periods. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up today's podcast. But before we do that, I'd like to recap the actionable steps that you can implement immediately to optimize cash flow management at your cosmetology school. Number one, you want to create and maintain a cash flow forecast. And you can do that by analyzing historical data and project your future cash inflows and outflows, and update your forecast regularly to reflect actual financial activity. Number two, you want to invest in robust accounting software. Use a system like QuickBooks to automate billing, manage expenses, and also generate real-time reports. Number three, you want to streamline tuition billing by developing clear tuition policies, by automating invoicing and payment reminders, and also you want to integrate online payment options. Number three, you want to monitor and control expenses. Regular review will help you to identify and cut unnecessary expenses, and you also want to negotiate better terms with your supplier wherever possible. Number five, you want to build a cash reserve. Okay, so determine an appropriate reserve based upon your school's needs. Then you're going to set aside the funds during periods of high cash inflow to cover lean periods. Number six, you want to accelerate receivables, offer incentives for early payments. You want to utilize electronic invoicing and payment platforms to speed up collections. And then number seven, you want to conduct regular financial reviews. You want to generate and review monthly financial statements. And you're going to use these insights to adjust your cash flow strategy as needed. So by following these steps, you not only manage your current cash flow more effectively, but also set your cosmetology school up for a path to sustainable growth. Remember, the goal is not merely to balance your books, but to create a proactive financial environment that supports both day-to-day operations as well as long-term strategic planning. Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's episode of Optimizing Cash Flow Management for Cosmetology Schools. I hope you found these practical techniques useful and that you can implement at least one or two of them to improve your school's financial health. If you have any questions or you need further guidance, please feel free to reach out. Don't forget to subscribe to the Cosmetology School Podcast for more insights on financial management, budgeting, and tax planning specifically designed for cosmetology schools. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to our next discussion. Until then, keep managing your finances wisely and support your school's growth. And I'll see you next time.